Welcome back, Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Today, we're giving away a spot into the first annual Junkies PPC Poker Stop, which goes down August 24th at Maryland Live Casino. You win that tournament, you're going to be going to the Players Poker Championship in Aruba with one of us. At 8 o'clock, we're going to give you 2 hole cards. Then at 8:20, we'll give out the flop, turn, and river. If you're the 10th caller with the best hand, you win a spot in the Junkies PPC Poker Stop at Maryland Live Casino. You go to thesportsjunkies.com/poker for all of your pertinent details, and you can sign up right now. If you don't want to wait, you just sign up at marylandlivecasino.com to register. So should be a fun event that's coming up August 24th. Coming up on the show today, we have Roman Oben at 740. Played with the New York Giants for 12 years, 12-year NFL vet.
What's he doing
Super
now?
Bowl with him. He's an analyst on MSG Network.
All right.
So preview the New York Giants as we continue kind of the NFC East. We talked Eagles yesterday.
Expectations for the Giants are muted this year, right?
I think so.
Maybe not for Coughlin.
From
maybe not
everything
for
I've
Giants
heard,
fans.
people expect another bad year and maybe a last place finish.
Although they did finish strong, right? We went through that yesterday. Finished 7-3 down the stretch.
Yep.
Got to a rough start, but
they're having some receiver issues with the injuries. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a good year. I think it's just so wide open in the division. I wouldn't be surprised if any team won.
So he'll join us at 7:40. We've got Nationals manager Matt Williams joining us at 8 o'clock. We go in the dugout with Matt Williams. The Nationals, of course, lost last night 3-0. And then Brian McNally, our Redskins beat reporter, joins us at 8:25. So we're packed.
I believe the Nats play today. Is it a 12:40 game today, Valdez?
Definitely a noonish start.
12:40. Yeah.
It's Roark on the mound, who I believe has been their ace. When you actually look at it, he's been their ace. Definitely not Steve Strasburg.
Well,
Pfister and Roark.
Pfister's been really good, too.
Pfister's my guy. If we get to the World Series, that's my guy.
He's your opening day.
He's my one. I want him starting game 1, 4, and 7.
So, it's Roark in hand today, 12:40.
So I know a couple months ago we had this debate about driverless cars, and Jason doesn't buy into it at all. Doesn't matter what you present him. He says it's not going to happen. You're never going to see driverless cars. So when I saw this story yesterday,
I think even Jason
as I
acknowledges
was
might see a few
perusing
but I says you're not going to see a beltway
the websites
full of driverless cars.
Possibly, but I don't know what it's going to look like 25 years from now.
Should I get a driverless car to replace my Tahoe?
I don't think any of us can forecast 25 years from now. But I do know that next year, 2015, and this isn't here, but in Great Britain, they're going to have driverless cars
on the road
next year on the road.
Scary.
So driverless cars meaning you can sit in the back seat and just chill and go take a nap?
I guess
or do you still have to sit in that driver's seat?
Safety concerns about the possibility, and they don't want people to be entirely reliant on the system, although I'm sure that Google and whoever they're producing the cars are very confident in their cars. So they essentially are setting it up where you do have to sit there and you can choose to put your hands behind your head and do whatever. Like, just imagine it being a full-scale cruise control.
Now I
so
can
you can
text
choose
and
to do
drive.
that, or you can override it. So there's like an override button.
Well, if you're going to sit there, you might as well drive it.
Oh, I'd rather sit there and text, watch movies.
Well, you do that anyway.
Yeah, but I don't watch movies. I'd rather just watch, chill. I'd rather sleep. If I had my druthers, I'd rather sleep.
Well, if I'm going to sit in the driver's seat, I might as well just steer the car.
According to the British government, they say the vehicles will have a driver present, but are capable of driving fully independently using knowledge of the environment in which they are driving. Fully autonomous cars remain a further step, and for the time being, drivers will have the option of taking control of the vehicle themselves. Vehicle manufacturers and their system suppliers continue to explore the opportunities for full autonomy. So people aren't ready to let go. It would definitely be scary. Like, if they told you right now, okay, driverless car, it's good to go. Just press a button.
No way would I do that. I would have to see
how it works. It's going to take a while.
I have to see how it works. I'd want to go on a test drive with it. I mean, you know what I mean? No way I'm just going to sit in one of those dumb things. Those things are going to have to be around for quite a while.
But don't they say that planes can basically fly themselves? So you fly on a plane where I guarantee at times it's just an autopilot.
But every plane you've ever been on's had a pilot.
Right?
That's right.
Unless you're going to the moon in some rocket.
And I'm guessing the computer system. I'm guessing the computer system in a 747 is a little bit more elaborate than it is in the Google car, or whatever car maker.
There must be something to the technology, Jason. I know you're scoffing at it. There's
I
obviously
just would
something.
never. I would just never buy one.
Doesn't new technology always have bugs too? Like
course.
the first generation of
I
it?
wouldn't be an early adopter. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you can buy like
you got to wait for the 2.0.
You buy a new Corvette and have problems.
It's kind of a nubs look. It's basically a car with like a goofy hat on it because on top of the car there's a rotating sensor, and that is mounted on the roof of the car, and it generates a map surrounding the car, so it senses what is around it, so that if it has to brake, it'll brake.
What if there's like you right in my neighborhood on Beach Drive? There's bicyclists everywhere. Everybody thinks they're Lance Armstrong.
I would just
It's
never.
going to evade all those donks.
I would never trust that.
It has radar
they're killing
sensors.
somebody.
The sensors measure the distance to obstacles in front of them, so it's constantly monitoring what's happening around. So it would be able to pick up that bicycle.
Yeah,
rider.
you think?
What if there's a glitch?
Well, if there's a glitch,
It's
you're
always,
screwed.
it's always
Then you run
glitches.
over someone,
What
you
if
go to jail.
What if the Google car gets the dreaded blue screen? Then you're
And
screwed.
it'll happen.
Yeah, you're going right to the tree.
Of course, you die.
Right.
Others die. I'm just out on that. I'm out. And hopefully I'll always be able to drive a nice car in my life. And part of having a nice car is driving it.
That's part of the pleasure.
Yes.
For me, part of the pleasure is letting my wife drive and me sleeping.
Oh, I don't like letting my wife drive.
When we go together, 90% of the time I just toss her the keys.
So she drove to and from the soccer game last
I drove
night?
to the game. She drove home. I said it was part of my bedtime. I had to sleep. I started my nap. I started my nighttime sleep in the car.
See, I'm a control freak, so I'd rather drive to and fro. Don't like when my wife drives. Not a big fan of it.
Well, you
Yeah,
don't
I
like
drive
anybody. You think you're a
99% of the
superior
time.
driver to everyone.
I'm probably the best driver in the country. And I'm not exaggerating.
I'm driving to Ann
I'm
Arbor,
so
Michigan.
silly. You know what I have? Good street awareness. You know how John Wall has good court awareness? I got good street awareness.
Right.
I'm driving.
I'm good
to-
at predicting what other
You
drivers are
actually
going to
haven't
do.
been in accidents, right? Like I've been in a rack of accidents.
I don't
have
get
you-
in accidents.
Have you ever been in one?
Wasn't my fault.
What was the one you got in?
Guy
Somebody rear-ended you?
plowed me.
Right,
This is a long time ago. This is probably in the early 90s.
right. No, I as strange as this sounds, I would say you're a good driver. You're aware. You pay attention.
I'm scary good.
You're a good
I'm
driver.
above good.
Yeah, I'm not a good driver because I don't care.
That's documented.
Yeah.
Well, no, you just still don't pay attention. You got a little ADD.
I'm not
quirk.
So
worried
for
about
him,
it.
a
It's not a big deal.
driverless car would be perfect.
No, not
'Cause you
necessarily.
don't
Because I
have
don't
to
think I would
worry
be
about that.
comfortable on it.
I don't think
I would be
you
comfortable in
would
it.
trust the computer to drive
Yeah.
the car.
You're gonna have that thing's gonna have to be around for 5 or 10 years before your boy is gonna sit in one.
I trust my brain
And-
and my eyes and my instincts over the computer.
And when
Do you
some,
like cruise control?
In certain
I
Because
don't
elements.
cruise
love it.
control, I kind of believe that you're a little slower to the trigger with hitting the brake.
of course, that's why I don't love cruise control because you sleep on it a little bit, and all of a sudden you're riding up on some guy's ass.
No, again, you got to have good street awareness.
Well, you
You
have
just
to
don't-
you have to care enough to pay attention the whole time.
Well, of course, you should care enough on the roads, but
But you put
I
in
do
cruise
use-
control, it makes you want to go to sleep.
I do use cruise control in the mornings because
Prevents you from speeding.
there aren't a lot of cars on the road, on the Beltway, and I usually use it every
But
single morning.
here's a question for you. So let's say I buy the Google car, right? That drives itself, and I'm on
That's such a hurting name for a car.
whatever you call it, dumb
Google
thing.
car.
I'm on the Google car on Beach Drive, and some donk in a Lance Armstrong outfit just all of a sudden jets out in front of me. And by the way, that happens all the time.
It's going to slam the
every
brakes.
weekend. No,
It's going to
okay.
slam the brakes faster than you would.
Okay, let's say
Because it's got radar.
Let's
and
say
it's
it
picking up
doesn't.
that
let's say,
bicyclist 50 feet away.
let's say it's like my Google Nexus tablet that crashed, okay, and it locks up and it smashes into the guy and kills him. Who's liable, me or Google?
I would think it would be Google.
No, Eric Bickle's liable.
Why? The Google car did it.
You probably got to sign some sort of a contract when you buy the car. Google's not responsible for accidents.
I don't know why Google would even be interested in this.
And what's the insurance going to be? What are the insurance premiums going to be on a Google car?
I can't imagine.
Exactly.
It's just that radar's driving.
Right. It'd be like $10,000 a year for insurance.
Can you imagine? And we all have heard the stories about planes. They could take off and land by themselves. I've yet to be on a commercial airliner that didn't have a pilot. They have a rack of them.
Correct. Usually they have 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah, but then you hear stories about them sleeping,
Wow.
True, but
Both asleep.
they're still there.
and that plane is heading right to where its destination is.
Do you think a major commercial airliner has ever landed with both pilots asleep? not possible.
No.
I can't
I
imagine.
don't know.
I can't imagine.
I have no idea. Probably not.
They wouldn't
But I
tell
know
you
that-
if they did.
But again, that computer system that's in that Boeing pwns the Google computer.
Is that even possible? I need a pilot. I know we've had this discussion before. Done the show for 18 years. We've had every discussion possible.
Yes.
Can a commercial pilot please call in? Could a commercial airline, if both pilots fell asleep, could it land itself? Like automatically set up to land
Yes.
itself?
I've got a good friend who's a pilot, and he's told me many times it could.
100%.
Yes.
Don't worry. If the pilot falls asleep or has a heart attack,
It'll do it automatically.
It'll automatically land anyway.
Yes. Now, they don't use that, I don't think, because I think there are more problems that can occur on landing.
Well, I always thought that they override it as they approach.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure.
But like when you hit cruise,
I'm about 99%. I'm going to leave that 1%.
All right.
I'm 99% sure it can.
So when they get to cruising altitude, I assume they put it on some sort of autopilot feature that if the guy donked off and had some sort of stroke or Syntox gas came into the cabin and they all donked off like in 24,
Yep.
the plane could land itself without any extra manipulation from anybody.
I'm under the impression it can.
I mean, pretty soon it's probably
So
going to
sick.
be like drones. There'll probably just be some guy at air traffic control that does the whole thing via remote, right? Why not?
Jason, somebody has reminded me you crashed Osama's car a few years ago. Forgot that.
I did.
That is true.
But
and
again-
that was you just backing into somebody like a donk.
Okay, but he came up behind
Oh,
me.
well, there's always something.
Well, I mean, it's the guy. I'm backing out of my spot, and he's coming up behind me. That wasn't all my
Who
fault.
paid the repair bill?
I had to. Well, it's because the deductible was like 5 G's.
All right, remember, coming up at 8 o'clock, we go in the dugout with the Nationals manager, Matt Williams. Coming up next, we continue to preview the NFC East. Roman Oven, who played with the New York Giants now, an analyst for the Giants, joins us on the Junkies.